They said I was my father's son, quiet hands in second place. Never raised my voice at anger, never looked pride in the face. They pushed me down in high school hallways, took my heart, left my name. Mama said you rise above it, so I learned how to lose with grace. I wore that silence like a ribbon, like it meant I had control. But deep inside the echo was a man about to roll. You can teach a boy to swallow, but a man learns how to roar. And someday all that pressure kicks the hinges off the door. A man like me don't stay down long. You can bet against me, sure, go on. I've been cracked, I've been bruised, but I don't break, I just move. You might take my time, not my song. A man like me don't stay down long. Away from lovers who mistook soft for weak. But kindness ain't a coffin, and quiet ain't defeat. I watched my brother drink his rage till he turned into the man I swore I'd never mimic, but I still understand. You can kick a dog forever till he learns to bite the storm. But I found peace in firelight, and rage I can transform. A man like me don't stay down long. You can bend me, but I'm built strong. I've seen shame, I've seen loss, but I still walk like I'm the boss. I don't beg, I rebuild what's gone. A man like me don't stay down. They said I'd never raise my voice, but I learned how to sing. A man like me don't stay down long. Even thunder knows my song. I've been quiet, not afraid. Now my silence gets repaid. Watch me rise, sing proud and strong. A man like me don't stay down long. No, a man like me don't stay down long.
There's a letter in my glove box that I never meant to send, and a photo in my wallet of a love I couldn't mend. Wasn't cruel, just careless with the way I held your name, like a gambler holds his last chip, thinking luck don't ever change. You packed your life in silence, not a single slam or tear, just the sound of someone knowing they won't be remembered here. And I watched you from the window as you disappeared in dusk. I thought pride would keep me steady, but pride don't bleed like trust. I took the long way losing you. Every mile just proved it true. I tried to turn around too late, but the road kept fading blue. I thought time would do the healing, but it just drew out the view. No shortcuts through regret, my love, I took the long way losing you. I stayed in towns we passed through, tried to live inside the past, made friends with all my ghosts, and drank from empty glass. I held your laughing headphones like a hymn I never wrote, played it back till it was hollow, like a promise choked by hope. Some men learn by losing, some just circle what they lost. And I drew maps of maybe, but I never paid the cost. I took the long way losing you, with every silence as my cue. I rehearsed 1,000 sorries that you never asked me to. I thought one day you'd be waiting in some town with lighter shoes, but dreams don't park at broken hearts. I took the long way losing you. I didn't mean to choose this ending, but I chose it just the same. Mostly shadows, but I drive it just for truth, and every mile still whispers, I took the long way losing you.
Porch light never flickered, even when I disappeared. She'd leave the door unlocked at night, like faith lived without fear.
I missed 100 birthdays, showed up soaked in cheap excuse. Still she held my hand like treasure, like her love was bulletproof.
I told her not to count on me, that I just let her down.
She smiled like she'd heard that line in every song in town. And I don't know what kept her when the storms were loud and long, but somehow she stood steady like a lighthouse hums a song. She waited through the weather when I was raining rust through all my torn up pages. She never lost her trust. She could have walked to brighter skies, but stayed through every tether. I never asked for that kind of love, but she waited through the weather.
Came home with nothing left but regret and worn out boots. She said love don't count the miles, it only measures roots.
She cooked my favorite supper like no years had passed at all. And when I cried into my coffee, she just smiled and let it fall.
She said you don't need redemption, just someone who believes. I never needed perfect, just a place for you to breathe.
She waited through the weather while I chased a dying flame. And when the winds would scatter me, she never changed her name. I gave her every reason to leave the past untethered, but she rode home every storm. She waited through the weather.
I asked her once why she stayed.
She waited through the weather, not for who I said I'd be, but for the man she always saw inside the wreck of me. Now I fold her kindness nightly,
like a prayer wrapped in a feather, and thank the sky I wasn't lost.
She waited through the weather.
Night still smells like her perfume and ash from a cigarette. We dance like strangers holding history in a room we won't forget. She poured her soul in paper cups, said this ain't love, it's time on loan. But every word she never said still echoes through my bones. I watched her button up her silence as the sunrise kissed her face. She wore goodbye like lipstick and left without a trace. I asked if I could see her when the sun was high and clear. She said some things are better when the morning isn't near. Some loves ain't meant for mornings, they bloom beneath motel moons. They hold you like a promise, but they vanish with the tune. We were real when clocks were broken and shadows held us tight. Some loves ain't meant for mornings, only born to live by night. Talked about forever like it was just a place to pass. Shared names like faded tattoos on a window made of glass. She traced the outline of my hand like she was reading braille of fate, then pulled away so slowly like goodbye arrived too late. She said, don't try to find me in the day you think you knew, not made for afternoon or anything too true. Some loves ain't meant for mornings, they disappear in dawn's regret, like steam across a windshield from the words we never said. We were fire inside a whisper, we were thunder dressed in white. Some loves ain't meant for mornings, they only live beneath the night. So I light one more for memory and I hum our borrowed song. Some loves ain't meant for mornings, but they linger all life long.
There was rain on your apartment steps. You said you don't have to go, but I was full of stubborn mouths and fear I couldn't show.
You had candles on the windowsill and coffee going cold. record played some Conway Twitty like it knew we'd both grow old.
I kissed your cheek, not your lips. That's a choice I still replay.
And every what if that I whisper begins with walking away.
The night was soft as mercy, but my pride was hard as stone. You reached for love with trembling hands, and I left you there alone.
If I had stayed that night, would the stars have felt less far? Would we be two names on one mailbox and not just memories in a jar? I still feel your breath in moonlight, I still dream you hold me tight, but I'll never know the answer if I had stayed that night.
I heard you moved to Houston with a man who loves to dance. I hope he sees the way you laugh, like he's been given one more chance.
I fold your name into my prayers like a photograph in flame. I don't wish I had you now, just that I'd stayed and known your name.
The clock forgives no minute, the road forgets no light,
And silence holds more meaning than anything I write. If I had stayed that night, would your tears have turned to gold? Would we have painted autumn mornings in the house where we grew old? I still feel the echo in the rain that tells me I wasn't right, but I'll always wonder gently if I had stayed that night. Sometimes love knocks once and leaves when no one answers.
Now I write our story backward into my heart's low candlelight, and I'll always live the question: if I had stayed that night.
The kettle still whistles at 7 like it did when you were here. I memorized its sadness and the way it hides a tear. The curtains still dance in the morning, though no one pulls them wide. Your robe still hangs behind the door like it's waiting on your stride. The mailbox holds no letters, but I check it just the same. And I keep our song on vinyl so I don't forget my name. The clock don't tick the way it used to since you stopped turning keys, but I still light the porch lamp so your ghost knows where I'll be. I still set the table for two, still pour your favorite tea, still hum the lines you used to miss in that movie's final scene. They say move on and find someone, but they never met you, so I live like you're still coming home. I still set the table for two. Sweaters in the closet I folded every week, like prayers I keep repeating to a God who doesn't speak. I wear your ring around my neck so it's always close to heart, and I talk to your reflection in the mirror after dark. I've learned the art of waiting like a lighthouse learns the shore. shining light that no one answers, still hoping nevermore. I still set the table for two, still leave the porch swing free, still laugh at jokes you used to tell, though now it's only me. They say love dies with distance, but you live in all I do. And every meal, each morning prayer, I still set the table for two. So if heaven has a window and you're looking down the view, I hope you see the candlelight where I still set the table for two.
I found his coat behind the closet, smelled like wind and kerosene, a little torn around the collar like the stories in between. He wore it to my baseball games and to Mama's second wedding. He never said too many words, but his silence did the telling. We never saw eye to eye, more like mirror to regret, but I still wore that coat one night just to see what he felt. He was thunder in the hallway, he was whiskey on the chair. He was gone before I noticed he was ever really there. My father's coat still fits me wrong, but I wear it when I need him strong. Through every storm I walk alone, it wraps me in what I've outgrown. We never said the words we meant, we spoke through fences, not through vents. But in this fabric old and broke, I still remember my father's coat. Left before the cancer came, but I read his Bible notes. He marked the page on prodigal and folded prayers and quotes. I found a picture in the pocket of me at age 13, grinning like I knew the world and didn't fear a thing. And we were men made out of silence, built from lessons never said. That coat was like a letter I forgot I hadn't read. My father's coat still fits me wrong, but I wear it when I need him strong. Through every storm I walk alone, it wraps me in what I've outgrown. We never said the words we meant, we spoke through fences, not through vents. But in this fabric old and broke, I still remember my father's coat. He never said goodbye, but he left me this to try. So I hang it by the doorway, let it catch the morning smoke. And when I miss the man I knew, I wear my father's coat.
The house was never noisy, but it never felt like peace. Just the hum of empty moments and the weight that doesn't cease. I didn't know I'd build a cage out of calendars and clocks, till you walked in with your sunrise and undid every lock. You never fixed me loud, you just sat there with your tea, and somehow all that silence stopped screaming back at me. You didn't bring the lightning, you just opened up the blinds, and I saw the world was turning even when I stayed behind.
You got me through the quiet when the world forgot my name. Held my hand like I was something more than just my quiet shame. You never tried to rescue, you just stayed and stayed and stayed. And love like that don't shout, it whispers loud enough to say.
Porch light burning, even though you're far from here. Not because I think you're coming, just to thank you for those years. Sometimes love ain't till forever, but it lasts through every fall. And the way you helped me breathe again was the truest gift of all. You didn't promise always, you just promised not to run, and that was more than I had ever heard from anyone. You got me through the quiet, through the long and broken days, pulled me out of my own shadow with a laugh that lit my way. You never tried to save me, you just stood and let me grow. And I still sing your kindness everywhere I go.
And I hope someone makes you feel the way you made me.
You got me through the quiet, now I walk a louder road, but I carry all your stillness everywhere I go. There's a coffee ring on her last letter and a photo turning gray. I read them both 100 times, still don't know what not to say. I told my boy to chase his dreams, but never said how far. He called last week from Michigan, and I just stared at stars. I never said I missed my dad till I saw him in my hands. Never said I feared the silence till the noise was all I had. We all think we'll find the moment to say what weighs the soul, but life don't wait on timing, and the truth ain't always told. These are the things I meant to say when I had more time than fear. Like I'm proud of you and I'm sorry and I'm glad you made it here. But the clock just kept on ticking, and I thought words could delay. Now all I've got is echoes of the things I meant to say. I never told her she was right when she begged me not to roam. Now the house still smells like flowers, but it don't feel like home. I kept my kindness in a drawer with the watch I never wore, and now both are ticking louder than they ever did before. The days grow short and golden, and I breathe a little slow. Wish I'd said it while they listen. Wish I let the silence go. These are the things I meant to say, not in eulogies or prayers, but across the kitchen table with a breath and two good chairs. Now I fold them in a letter, and I hope they find their way to the hearts I left wide open with the things I meant to say. I should have said it sooner, but I guess I say it now. So if you hear me in the static of a song you hum today, know I meant it when I whispered all the things I meant to say.
They say the road forgives a man if he don't ask it where it goes. But I've been driving past my own life like a bar I never chose. Left Georgia in a rainstorm, left 2 kids and half a name. Told myself I'd send a postcard, but the guilt got in the way. Spent some nights in Amarillo, wrote my sins on bathroom walls, played guitar for folks who never even knew my face at all. But a voice inside kept humming every mile like a scar. Said you ain't starting over, you're just hiding who you are. A man can only run so far before the road starts running back. Every silence that you borrow piles up behind the tracks. You can chase 1,000 sunsets in a beat-up old guitar, but you can't outrun your shadow. A man can only run so far. Met a woman out in Reno. She could see behind my eyes. Didn't ask me about my story, but she knew I lived in lies. She said, you've got hands like heartbreak and a voice like you've been shot. Then she poured me half her mercy, and she kept the other half. I asked her why
she stayed with me. She just smiled and lit a star. Said we're all just broken comets, falling right back where we are. A man can only run so far before he hits the truth he threw. You can lie to all the strangers, but the mirror still sees you. So I'm headed back to Georgia with this busted heart and scar. 'Cause even cowards find a crossroads, and a man can only run so far. I ain't asking for forgiveness, just a place to plant my boots. Now the road behind me's dusty, but the porch ahead is warm. And I ain't looking back too hard. A man can only run so far.